Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Planet X News, May 26, 2019. And ladies and gentlemen, not more than an hour ago, a massive, and I mean massive, magnitude 8.0 earthquake has struck the country of Peru. Folks, I woke up at exactly 3:33 a.m. this morning. And as I was standing at the coffee pot, I don't know. I just got this sudden chill that just went up the back of my neck. And I said to myself, for some reason, I think today's not going to be a good day. And sure enough, as I made my way down the hallway to my office, turned on my computer, the very, very first thing that I check every day is earthquake activity. And lo and behold, as soon as I pull up my earthquake map, what do I see? A magnitude 7.5. And that was immediately registered by the USGS. As I started to look at some of the data, not more than 10 minutes went by, and I noticed an update. And it is kind of rare for the USGS to actually upgrade an earthquake. Normally, we see them downgrade the earthquakes. Well, they upgraded this from a magnitude 7.5 to an 8.0. I've compiled some information and wrote an article pertaining to this earthquake. It is available on the planetxnews.org website. We're actually going to take a look at it. And right now, there is not a lot of information pertaining to this earthquake. And, you know, folks, here we are. It's just about 5 a.m. And, probably 90% of the people that were affected by this earthquake were sleeping. That's a big problem. You know, we've seen this occur with these tornadoes spawning at nighttime here in the Midwest just recently. And anytime you have a catastrophic event like this at nighttime, the risk of injury is just much, much more. Simply because people are unaware of what is happening, they're sleeping, you know the routine. So this is a pretty significant event. Now, not only was this magnitude 8.0 of interest, but I started looking at the rest of the world, and I was quite shocked at what I was seeing. The reason being, folks, the last couple of days, things have been, kind of quiet on the sun as far as any activity Earth-facing. Now, these older sunspots that we were watching 10 days ago, this sunspot 2740 and 41, they've made their way around the western limb of the sun. They're approaching. They're approaching the back side of the sun now. However, they are flaring, and there is quite a bit of activity. There was a very small CME that occurred yesterday, and I really couldn't tell if it's coming directly from one of these sunspots. Now, some information I was looking at yesterday is showing the formation of a third active zone right between these two sunspots. And as I mentioned, when we were watching these sunspots cruise across the front face of the sun, Earth-facing, I mentioned, and I said, I'm working on this theory with this Planet X orbit, and my theory says that those sunspots would fizzle out as they were passing across the front face of the sun, Earth-facing, and sure enough, they did. And I've been working on this now for quite some time, many years now, and bingo, that's what's happened. Now, I also stated that once those sunspots got around the western limb of the sun, which is the right side if you're Earth-facing, once they got to the backside, they would probably regenerate. Reason being, they're coming in contact with this larger stellar core Planet X object as it's making its way back up from below the sun in its eccentric and ecliptic orbit. And sure enough, this is what has happened at the end of April. This is what is happening right now. And it all coincides with how I put things together on the calendar. And when I mean the calendar, I've been charting this, on a calendar here on my computer for, since 2017. Here we are almost 2 years later, and things are actually starting to come to light. The pieces of the puzzle are starting to fit together. However, this 8.0 magnitude earthquake has literally just come out of nowhere. Now, I've been watching the activity on the sun Earth facing for the last couple of days. Really haven't seen much other than, some coronal hole openings. We'll go over that real quick. There hasn't been a heavy solar wind. But here's the problem, folks. As I've been mentioning for weeks now, probably even the last 2 months, as we keep creeping into this solar minimum, which the actual official beginning is coming up, I believe, in mid or late June, our magnetic field for the Earth is going to weaken. Apparently, it seems to be weakening already. And any type of influx of these heavily charged particles impacting the Earth, well, that is going to have the ability to increase pressure inside of the Earth and cause serious issues with these tectonic plates. And I guess, lo and behold, that's what we're looking at here today. Now, there was a pretty large earthquake in Utah. This all happened simultaneously, and there have been significant earthquakes across the globe over the last 8 hours. And again, we're going to go over some of this information because I really wasn't expecting this. But this just goes to show you that anything could happen at any time, starting now. I've been talking about this for quite some time, but each and every time, bingo, this is what we're seeing. We're seeing kind of like these surprise events. And again, I was not even expecting any type of major earthquake activity. Well, at least till these 2 active sunspot zones made their way back around and would be Earth facing, because we could be looking at some flaring events. Let me go ahead and get the live chat going here. Oh, I know it's very, very early in the morning, and I guess we'll have some early birds up with me, which is good. And just let me go ahead and put this right down here so I could see everybody. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump out of this information, this thumbnail, real quick. And I'm going to show you the other earthquake activity that just riddled the other side of the Ring of Fire. So let's go ahead and check that out real quick. Well, we're going to jump over to the live earthquake map here. And this is what I was talking about, these other earthquakes. 2 of them in Utah. 51 minutes ago, a magnitude 4.1 at a depth of 23.17 kilometers. Very, very shallow. I can guarantee you anybody living in this area for several miles definitely were awoken by that earthquake. Let's see. 51 minutes ago, same thing, magnitude 3.5. 18 kilometers northwest of Wolf Creek, Utah. Very shallow depth, only 2.69. So I would say if, depending on where the epicenter is and where people actually live, let's take a look at this on the actual satellite. See how far we could zoom in here. Is there any towns, any houses around here? Looks like it hit in a relatively wooded area. I don't see many houses. I don't see anything here. Okay, well, maybe some folks maybe didn't feel that, but you do have Bingham City, North Ogden, Ogden and South Ogden. Not sure if those folks felt that earthquake. We will probably hear about it in the news later on today. Let's get down to this earthquake here. Let's see what's in this surrounding area. Yeah, that looks like barren desert. So I'm not sure if many people live out there. If you do live out there, I don't know what you're doing out there, because it doesn't look like there's much of anything out there. But that's good. That's good. So they're not really big inhabited areas. But things are a little different for this area down in Peru. There are actually a lot of people that do live in that area where this earthquake has occurred. What I want to show you is what's happened over on the other side of the globe. 8 hours ago, 4.6, Japan, another one, 4.7 in Japan. Multiple earthquakes in China, a 4.8. There's another one underneath there, which was a 4.7. India, 4.7. Another one in India, 4.6. Indonesia, 5.0, 4.8, and a 4.7. So you can see this earthquake pattern kind of started over here. And when you flip the Earth around, bingo, we have this magnitude 8. And it was pretty deep too, folks, 110 kilometers deep. And you can guarantee that people for probably hundreds of miles felt this boomer. No doubt about it. So that's been 60 minutes ago. This earthquake clocked in Peru. We're going to jump over to the USGS. I'm going to back up a little bit here, real quick. There's been quite a bit of activity just near Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic. I was actually looking at this yesterday because these earthquakes were ringing left and right, like every hour on the hour. And if we zoom in to Puerto Rico, you can see magnitude 3.55, and they're small earthquakes. But what really catches my eye is when they start forming these straight line patterns. And there's no fault line there, but they do have a lot of activity in and around Puerto Rico. And then right here, 4 hours ago, this magnitude 4.3 hit the Dominican, and you could guarantee that people definitely felt that. That's a heavily populated area right there. But jumping over to the USGS, they really don't have a lot of information on this as of yet. We're going to go ahead and pull up the info anyways. And the majority of this is already in the Planet X News article related to this earthquake. And we'll go ahead and take a look at the interactive map. Now, the interactive map, as you see the lines, the different color lines, as they protrude outward from the epicenter, it's just showing you the likelihood of that earthquake being felt by people in that diameter from this the epicenter. I was actually trying to look on the map to see if I could see any small cities, towns, or villages, but on the satellite view, you really can't see much because of the thick forest and vegetation. But here, I'm going to go ahead and jump over to the Planet X News article real quick. And the initial information that I got on this was a huge magnitude 8 earthquake struck northern Peru, the biggest in the world so far this year. Well, look, folks, I don't care if that was the biggest earthquake in the last 5 years. A magnitude 8 is a bell ringer, okay? That can do some very, very, very serious damage. Could you imagine if a magnitude 8 earthquake hit in San Diego, LA, or San Francisco, any one of these West Coast cities? Yeah, we'd be looking at some very, very serious damage. It says that the epicenter was around 180 kilometers east of the regional capital of Moyobamba and at a depth of 105 kilometers. So I'm sure that in the next few hours and as soon as the sun comes up, we'll probably get some views of damage that has occurred. It says here that American, I guess this guy's name was Tom Wootke. He wrote on Twitter, totally felt that earthquake from the 9th floor hotel room in Lima, Peru. Lasted for about a minute. Wow. Let's go back here real quick. Let's see where Lima is compared. Oh, wow. So right here is the epicenter, and here's Lima, way down here. Lima is actually out of the felt zone that they have on the USGS. Woo! Wow. Could you imagine being on the 9th floor of a hotel and being closer to the epicenter of this earthquake? Woo. I don't know about that. I've never been in any kind of swaying building. Yeah, let's go back to the article here. Initially, I was looking and trying to get to the information related to populations near this epicenter. There are several small cities, towns that are within this epicenter area. Populations, Lagunas, Laredo, Peru, population just a little over 9,000. I'm not even going to try to pronounce some of these Peruvian city names or town names. Here's one population right here. Let me just try here. Maguas, Laredo, population 41,000, almost 42,000. Oh, yeah. I'm sure all those people are awake right now. Lamas, San Martin, Peru, population almost 14,000. They definitely felt that. Another 14, close to 15,000 here. San Martin, Peru. Moyobamba, 44,000. Yeah, so there is probably a good 100 to 120, maybe even 150,000 people, possibly even more than that. If this guy felt this earthquake outside of the felt zone in Lima, Peru, I would probably say maybe 200, 250,000 people felt this earthquake. So we'll see. The estimated fatalities and estimated economic loss chart, this is put up by the USGS. It is in a code yellow, which means it's in the high percentage, 46 to 35%. They would estimate in an earthquake of this magnitude, there would be a 46% chance of fatalities. Estimated economic losses, that is in the range of 35 to 25%. Yeah, we could always fix the economic losses, but you can't fix a fatality. That's a pretty high, staggering number of 46%. Again, we will have to wait a few hours for the sun to come up, daylight, and take a look at the extensive damage, because I have a feeling that even though this seems to be in a very, wooded area of Peru, we can't see under the canopy of the vegetation from the satellite. So it's hard to literally see these towns, but we will in a few hours. In this article, I've listed information here on the tectonic plates of this area of South America. This western coast we always see these earthquakes here. There have been some massive earthquakes, folks. Argentina, Chile, Peru, Ecuador. We've seen them in the past. But again, this is very, very surprising. I didn't expect to see anything like this waking up this morning. I'll put the link to this earthquake article in the live chat if any of you guys want to check it out. Share it on your social media. I'll put it in the live chat right now. You guys can go ahead and click on it. I'm going to jump out of here. Oh, let me see something here. I want to pull up the earthquake 3D real quick. Just kind of want to see what's happening here and what could possibly happen on the other side of the world, on the other side of this earthquake. What is this? They don't even have it listed. What is this? Strange. Why isn't that listed? That's very strange. Well, bear with me, folks, here. I want to see why that is not... Okay. Now those are volcanoes that are showing up there. I'm not sure why that is not... oh, bingo, there we go. Wow. Holy hell. Wow. You guys can all see that on your screen now. Look at the size of the rings for this earthquake on the earthquake 3D. It's almost the whole entire size of the Earth. Holy hell. Wow. So, if we spin the Earth around and we're able to look, well, let's just say this. Say we're able to look straight through the Earth. Let's see what's on the other side of this earthquake because, oh, where is my little thing at here? Uh-oh, the Earth just went crazy spinning. Hold on, let's bring this back up here. Let me do something here real quick here, folks. Get that bullseye set right there. Looking straight through the Earth brings us, see if we could see what's over there. This is a little confusing and it messes with your eyes. So cutting straight through the Earth. Wow, that was one hell of an earthquake. So lining these up, give me 1 second. This is a little difficult. Oh, dear Lord. Okay, so lining this earthquake up with the other side of the world, because, excuse me, this is how seismic activity can work, folks, when we're dealing with very, very large earthquakes like this. We could literally see these earthquakes and the energy travel straight through the earth to the other side. So I'm going to wipe out all of these earthquakes here and see if we could just keep this magnitude 8. And what is on the other side? Oh my. So what's actually on the other side? This does not want to work very well for me for some reason. I don't know what the hell is wrong with this damn piece of shit, but it's not working for me very well. It doesn't want to spin properly. So what is actually on the other side of this? And we're just going to go ahead and jump back over here. What is on the other side is, oh my, is India, actually. Whew. Yeah, let's just take a quick look at that again. So that would definitely be India. Let me see if I could see from this angle. Oh my, yeah, that would be... Oh Lord, that would actually be right at the tip of India, if I'm not mistaken, or pretty damn close to it. Somewhere in this region, right here. Wow. Is that the case? Or is it more over this way? Anywhere, I would say, folks, anywhere in this region. Wow. And there's a lot of volcanoes. There's a lot of volcanoes over here in the Indonesia area. Matter of fact, the volcano Bali, it was spewing volcanic ash 50,000 feet in the air just yesterday and the day before. So this region, let's get rid of this. I would say this whole entire region, all of this, from the tip of India all the way over to Papua New Guinea, everything in the Indonesia area, Philippines. Hey, listen, possibly even New Zealand. You know, it's been a few years since New Zealand has had a big earthquake. Remember the magnitude 7.8 that hit the islands down there. It did catastrophic damage. I mean, it literally changed things in New Zealand forever. And if you folks don't remember that earthquake, wow. We had portions of roadways that were lifted 15 to 25 feet in the air, separated like this. It was just some of the beaches were just completely devastated, not by tsunamis, but by separation of land, just like that. I don't even know how you fix that, you know. But we really haven't heard much from New Zealand for quite some time. With an earthquake like this ringing its bell on the other side of the globe, it could be a matter of hours. It could be a matter of days. I would say with an earthquake that size, with that much power, we may see a big earthquake on the other side of the globe, just like what I'm saying now. So we'll see what happens. Once again, only time will tell. But I would say definitely anywhere within this region. Let's take another look at this. Oh, yeah. So what I'm doing, folks, I'm just trying to look through the Earth here. I'm just trying to look through the Earth to see the epicenter of the earthquake in Peru and, just basically drawing a straight line right through the Earth to see what is on the other side. Yeah, that looks like that would be right around this area. Okay, I thought we were looking at India being in the bullseye zone. We're looking at about this area right here. So we already know this whole area of Indonesia is very, very seismic. A lot of seismic activity. Excuse me. My brain's going this way. My mouth wants to go that way. So bear with me. Yeah, and there's a lot of volcanoes. There's a lot of volcanoes in this area. So we may even see a large earthquake or several, and several volcanic blasts that may be quite devastating. Yeah, so there's a lot to watch. I'm going to get out of this Earthquake 3D. The only person that could operate Earthquake 3D like a pro is Dutch Sense. Yeah, that is one heavy duty earthquake. Let's see if there's been any updates. Oh, here comes one right now. Okay, we got the same quakes over there. We still have the magnitude 8 here. There's a magnitude 4 9 hours ago right off the coast of Oregon, too. So we'll just go ahead and jump out of there. And we're going to take a quick look at the SDO. I'll show you the coronal hole openings that I was watching for the last 48 hours. And, they just seemed to be, opening and closing. And this is our 48-hour loop right now. I mean, you could see these darker black areas. That's where the coronal hole openings are. They really haven't been massive. They've kind of been spread out. But even so, we would still be getting the coronal hole and the solar wind speed coming at the Earth. But I was checking on the solar wind speed. It's been relatively low over the last couple of days. We've actually been seeing this lower speed for, I'd have to say, the last 9 months now. I got to say, folks, this earthquake's very, very strange. Very, very strange. I can't even say right now for sure that this would have anything to do with the sun inducing this seismic activity down there in Peru, because we really haven't seen much coming from the sun. Now, there is a pretty large coronal hole down here, and this is the 48-hour loop, so that was just about 2 days ago. Normally takes that solar wind 3 to 4 days to get to the Earth. But again, with our magnetic shield, our magnetic field getting weaker and weaker and weaker, we may be in for these possibilities of earthquakes, a lot of volcanic activity, due to the fact that even small coronal holes, small solar wind streams coming from the sun will affect the Earth with a higher magnitude. Why? Because all of those heavily charged particles are now getting through our magnetopause and just blasting the Earth. And that will be continuous, non-stop. So that's a lot for the Earth to take. And I think over the last couple of years, all of the activity that we've seen has taken its toll on our planet. I think all of the seismic zones around the world, all of the tectonic plates are pretty volatile at this point in time, and I think that's actually going to get worse. Now, let's just put it this way. I know it's going to get worse. Nothing we can do about it other than try to live through it, try to prepare, and try to prepare our minds with the knowledge of what is happening. So that's what we're looking at here, folks. And I've been trying to pay very, very close attention to what's brewing on the backside, and we can't see nothing like that here on the SDO. We would have to go over to the Core 2. We'll just take a quick look at it, and then I'll let you folks get back to sleep. Looks like I'm going to have a very busy day. Let's take a look. I recorded some of this footage yesterday. I may even resort to it here. I'm going to go ahead and blow this up so you guys can see it. Now we're actually looking on the back side of the sun, and you can see right here where my cursor is. This is the area where those sunspots are. Sunspot 2741 that fizzled out, just like I said they would, but now since they have passed by the western limb of the sun, they're moving around the back side. Over the last couple of days, they've been popping off all kinds of some small solar flares, coronal mass ejection yesterday, very, very small, but this type of activity for two pretty much dead sunspots is unusual. But they were dead whenever we were looking at them. But like I said, as soon as they would move around, they would catch that interaction with one of these stellar cores, most likely the largest one. It would regenerate the polarity in the negative side of these sunspots. The negative polarity of both of these sunspots fizzled out before they even started to turn around the corner. They were dead when they were exactly Earth-facing. So now they've actually regenerated. You can see right there that one small pop was the coronal mass ejection that was recorded yesterday. I'm going to go ahead and jump out of here for a second. Let's see if we could take another view of the 304. You're going to see a lot of interference on this simply because the detectors on the camera on the spacecraft are getting pulverized with all of these particles. That's why you see this little checkerboard pattern around the sun. Whenever you see that, that's a telltale sign that there's a lot of energy coming from the sun, a lot of heavily charged particles. They're hitting the detector, and that's what you see. That is the onboard computers basically deciphering what they're seeing, and the information coming in from those detectors it translates it all to what you see right here. Now, real quick, folks, if you see all those little white dots that are popping up here and there, listen, no, those are not planets. They're not stars. They are not meteors or anything like that. That is an artifact caused by cosmic rays. You know, it's just one of the issues with looking at the Core 2 stereo imaging. But that's what those are. I've seen some other YouTube channels claiming that, you know, I don't know, they were alien ships, other Planet X planets, moons, all kind of stuff. But those little things that you see popping back and forth, those are cosmic rays. That's all they are. But you could see this area right here. This is where I've been watching. And if we did not have all of this static interference right here, we would be able to see massive flares coming off the sun. There's one right there where my cursor is, but you can't see it because of the defect in this stereo camera, and the detector's getting pulverized with all of these heavily charged particles. You know, it's like back in the day whenever we didn't have cable TV, you know, and you had the rabbit ears on your TV to get reception, and you're always moving the rabbit ears around to get reception, and if you don't get the right reception, you get static. Well, that's basically what we're seeing right here. There's a huge flare plasma loop way down here. There's a massive one down here. That thing is huge. Wow. So we will be able to get a better look at this probably the next 48 hours to the next 72 hours. We'll be able to get a better view and see what's going on here. The video that I recorded yesterday, let me go ahead and pull that up. Oh, where is it? Right here. Well, I'll just go over here. We'll take them one by one. I combined them all into one video, but we'll just watch them one by one here real quick. See, right in this area here where you see my cursor, you will see that coronal mass ejection on the back side. It wasn't that big, folks. It was relatively minor. Not headed towards Earth or anything like that. This activity zone's far off. But see, I can see, you know, my eye is already trained just by looking at this area where you see the white zone right here. I can see large. Let me see if I could catch one here for you. See, I could already see large plasma loops. There's a large one right there. These are huge. You're looking at, oh my, 50,000, 60, 70,000 miles off the surface of the sun. Yeah, right there. It's kind of hard to see because the stereo imaging is blurry as hell. I know they've probably done that on purpose because it never used to be that way before, you know. And on top of that, it is a little blurry because all of these particles were blasting the detector, and that's just what happens. Even on this is the stereo Core 2 coronagraph. This is a view from the side, and this is showing you the coronal mass ejection yesterday. Wasn't that much, you know. I really didn't even talk about it. I recorded it just for, this purpose in case something occurred, and it sure as hell did. But this wasn't facing the Earth or anything of that nature, but just showing the activity. It's starting to increase on the backside. And here was the CME tracker from yesterday. Right at this point right here, where you see my cursor, you will see the coronal mass ejection head out, just skirting Venus a little bit, impacting a couple of satellites out there. Really nothing major. Very, very lightweight. Just a little burp of plasma. But, if that was, facing Earth, really wouldn't be anything to write home about. Not strong at all. You don't see any intensity whatsoever. So I would just refer to it as just like a little hiccup. But the problem is, see this zone right here where you see it's red, right where this white circle is, which represents the sun? See that little red area right there that they have highlighted? Well, whenever you see that little red zone like that on that white circle, which is the sun, that's telling you, let's just say, that's a hot zone. That's a very active area on the sun. That's what we'll be watching very, very carefully over the next 10 days. And see, here's the thing, folks. Some people may think this space weather is completely boring and they don't want to listen to it, but I would get used to listening to it. Just yesterday and on Friday, I was actually hearing the words space weather on news stations. I heard it on CBS Evening News. I heard it on Fox News. I heard it on ABC News. And then I heard it on CNN News using the word space weather. So I guess they are, they're hearing more and more about what's happening out there. Maybe they'll report on it. Maybe they won't. Can they be trusted? I don't think so. That's why you stick with real hardcore truthers. That way you know what the deal is. That much is a fact. Yeah, folks, so that's what we're doing here today. We're going to be keeping an eye on this earthquake situation. I want to make one more pass out here, then I'll let you folks go. You can enjoy your Sunday morning. I don't see anything else cooking out there. But yes, magnitude 8.0 hits Peru, 110 kilometers deep. And probably 250,000 people felt this, if not even more than that. Because once you get out of that area in the country of Peru, you start dipping over into other countries east of Peru. They probably felt it too. And as I get some more information coming in, I'll probably do an update on this. And let me show you guys one other thing in case you didn't hear about it. In case you didn't hear about it, folks, I've started my own notification network because of all of the faults of YouTube and social media. They don't want to notify you of what is happening. They don't want to notify you of live streams and videos. Some of you may get notified. The majority of you don't. Their new rules are 10 to 13% of subscribers will get a notification of an upload or a live stream. 10 to 13%. Yeah, that pretty well sucks. So, the other day I worked on putting together my own email notification network. It's very, very easy. The link to this landing page is in the description box. First line. Click on this link. This will come up, what you see on your screen. It'll take you about 1 minute. Enter your name, put your email address in, hit enter. Then wait for about 30 seconds. Go to your email inbox. You will see the confirmation email pop up. Open it, click on confirm. You're all done. That's it. So what this allows me to do is it allows me to notify all of my subscribers by email of future live streams, video uploads that YouTube failed to notify you about. This also is a network where if there is a major emergency, I can contact everybody by email, boom, with one push of a button. Yeah. So this works out very, very well. This does not cost any of you anything, folks. This is costing me $465 a month right now. As our network increases, it's going to end up costing me more money. But I have the money. Not a problem. I'm not asking anybody for a dime. Apparently, a few people that didn't listen to me when I talked about this the other day, when I said this is costing me money, I had a few people, I don't know if they were joking around with me or what, but they were telling me that they can't afford this. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You can't afford to receive an email? You're not being charged for this. I'm paying for it. So this will also notify you of new articles that have been written for Planet X News. I am able to share a lot of information with you all with one click of a button. If I make a new discovery and I don't put it on YouTube or even Facebook, I could share it with all of you instantaneously. You could open up your emails at your leisure, in the privacy of your own home, at your desk, or wherever, and you could look at the information. So, when I did this video yesterday about all of this, we had 3,500 views. Again, YouTube censors the hell out of me. But out of 3,500 views, we only had 150 people sign up. Makes no sense. Maybe you don't care enough. Maybe you're just saying to yourself, the hell with it. But I'm telling you, folks, don't be stupid here. Sign up for the email alerts. You're not going to be getting 20 of them a day. You'll probably get maybe one a day. Maybe two. But it's more or less about one email per day. You can open it up. You can check out what's going on. It's that simple. So this is one of my ways of fighting back. This is the only way that right now I see feasible to stay in contact with my subscribers. We've put on like 5,000-6,000 new subscribers. I don't know where the hell they're all at. We have 82,000 subscribers to this YouTube channel. I don't know where they're all at. YouTube does. Yeah. Facebook is doing the same thing. So is Twitter. You've all heard me flap my gums about this social media problem, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. Okay? So, take your time. Click on that link in the description box. Go to this landing page. Fill in your name. Fill in your email address. And hit enter. Go to your email inbox 30 seconds later and look for the confirmation email. Okay? If any of you are using other email services other than Yahoo and Gmail, check your spam folder or check your updates folder. But once you confirm the email alerts, you will always get the new notifications in your main inbox. And listen, folks, if some of you guys are using old and antiquated email services, get away from them. Get yourself a Gmail account. It's much, much easier to use, and it's actually much more secure. Believe it or not, I know I hack Google a lot of times, but when you're looking for private email besides Proton Mail, Gmail's your best bet. You know, it does scan your emails for viruses and things of that nature, because I do catch several people just about once a day trying to send me photographs or little video clips with viruses embedded in them. They're trying to take down my computer network. It's not going to happen. I've got 3 tiers of computer security software that I've invested a lot of money in. So for those of you that are trying to do that to me, just stop it. Folks, get over there and sign up for these email alerts. If you don't do it, you're only hurting yourself. You're going to be left out of the loop. If you don't care, you don't care. Simple as that. Anyways, folks, I am going to go drown myself in some more coffee, have a little breakfast, and I'm going to poke around and see what's going on around this world. So stay tuned. Do me a favor, thumbs up the video and share it on social media. Let some other folks see it, and get your notification email set up today. Hey, listen, folks, if you don't hear from me later on, have a very, very nice weekend, and be safe out there. Watch your weather. This is Scott from Planet X News. Thank you for watching. Take care, folks.